Oh, come on. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. I want to talk on. We're gonna call this Lisa Talk. This is Lisa Talk. I want y'all to come on in. I want to get on here and talk about everybody is talking in this month about breast cancer and also talking about abuse. All right. And I think I might have said before, there's so many different ways of abusing people. There's so many different ways of abuse. And a lot of times people are being quiet. They're not saying anything because of the person that they're with. But let me tell y'all one thing. You're going to have to love God first and foremost and love yourself. You know, if you don't learn to love yourself, nobody else, you can't expect for that other person that's abusing you to love you, because they don't. Abuse does, when you love, abuse hurt. Abuse hurt. I don't care what kind of abuse it is, it hurts. When you truly love somebody, you're not going to hurt them. All right. You're going to protect them. Matter of fact, you protect each other. All right. You're each other's protection. All right. When you have a spouse, a husband and a wife, the husband is supposed to protect his wife, and the wife's supposed to protect her husband. Point blank to the period. Even with your children, you are supposed to protect your children. All right. Keep them safe. You are to keep each other safe. And it's bad when you are in a marriage or relationship, and your spouse, is abusing you, or your boyfriend or girlfriend, whosoever is abusing you. You don't have to stay there. You don't have to stay in the abuse. I know sometimes we can the word is accumulate. We can accumulate things together, materialistic things together. All right. But let me tell you one thing. Those materialistic things does not have feelings. You have feelings. You are important. You matters. You can always get materialistic stuff. I don't care if it's a house, car, furniture, you know what I'm saying? Money. You can always get those things back. But your life, your health, your mind, you see what I'm saying? Your spirit, your soul, your body. You have to treasure that. That is a treasure that God gives us. And I found out, I had to learn, and I learned. And it didn't take me long to learn how important that I am. And so we are important. You got to understand that you are important. And so when you get with people that don't know how to treat you, you got to understand that they're dealing with some issues their own selves, that you don't have anything to do about it. I mean, you don't have no control over it. All right. They are dealing with some stuff their own selves. And I mean, this was before they even knew you. All right. They was dealing with stuff. And that's why it's good to, when you are dealing with stuff, it's good to get that out your system, get some help. And a lot of people, they don't get help because they don't want to recognize, they don't want to acknowledge that, I'm dealing with some stuff. Don't put nobody else, get nobody else to put nobody else in your mess, because that's not good for that other person. And a lot of stuff comes from childhood. A lot of people, and when you become an abuser, it's somebody else that you saw, that was an abuser, that you saw that was the abuser, or they was the one that was abusing, And I know we all done seen things and see people curse people out, and seeing people call people out their names, and seeing people, fight people and all this kind of stuff, and push and shove and just act a plumb nut bush, just act a plumb fool. But y'all, it is not normal. It is not healthy. It is not healthy. The Lord, in the time we're living in now, we all need to be living a healthy life, a healthy environment, a peaceful environment, and even if you have to live it by yourself, you're going to be okay. It's all right. It's all right. You see, because you want to live as happy and whole as you can. And if you really can really think about it and really reflect back on your life and reflect back on how you was living your life before these people intervened in your life, before you accepted them in your life, before you opened the door to them. You see, and I know that a lot of times we get into relationships blind. You know, we don't be thinking like that. We don't think that the person's gonna mistreat you. But further on down the road, you see that they are just that. They will mistreat you. And that's not love. That's not love. And you don't have to accept it. You don't have to accept the mistreatment. You know, you don't, when you see it, it's going to be some red flags. And I know a lot of times we omit the red flags. And I want to say this, not only is women's being abused, men are being abused too. It's so many men that's keeping quiet and they're being abused. And they don't want to say nothing because they feel like, well, I'm the man. Yes, you are the man, but you're not a man down here on earth. God didn't put you down here on earth for nobody to mistreat you, for nobody to abuse you, for nobody to hit on you or kick you, for nobody to curse you out, for nobody to mess with your self-esteem, for nobody to pull you down. And especially if you're a good man and you try. See, sometimes what I'm learning and what I see a lot of good men get caught up with the wrong type of women's. And then I see a lot of good women get caught up with the wrong type of men. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I see a lot of. If you have a genuine heart, that's why the Bible tells us, get someone equally yoked up with you, equally yoked up. Because if you got a genuine heart, if you are a go-getter, if you are a motivator, if you are an encourager, if you are a loving person, you need the same type of person like you to be the same way. And I know people will fool you. I know they know how to pull a woman over your eyes. I know they do. But yet and still, you've got to sit back and, because God going to show you. He's going to show you the red flags. And when you see the red flags, you've got to sit back and say, okay, now I acknowledge this one time. You know, I recognize this 2 times. And 3 times, hey, you out. Three strikes and you out. Point blank, period. You've got to love yourself enough to say enough is enough. You got to love yourself enough to say, I'm not going to take this. I don't have to take this. You know, I'm better than this. Do we have people that can say that you're better? A lot of people say, well, they think they all that. Yeah, you better think some of yourself. Because if you don't think nothing of yourself, nobody else is going to. And remember, you're not trash. So don't let nobody treat you like you're trash. All right? You are a decent, honest human being. All right, you are a man or a woman that should never be abused. Point blank to the period. All right, so don't let nobody treat you like that. There is verbal abuse. There is physical abuse. There is mental abuse, psychological abuse with the mind. You know, there is spiritual abuse. I'm being real. There is so many type of abuse. There is neglect is abuse. You know, cheating is an abuse. You know, it's just a lot of different type of abuse. All right, people would go and drink and come back home and clown, be sloppy, pissing drunk, and they clowning. You know, that's an abuse. People can't rest at night. That's an abuse. Going in and out the house all times of night. That's an abuse. You know, because your house is supposed to be your home, and it's supposed to be a peaceful environment. You know, so don't let nobody abuse you in no kind of way. You don't have to take it. You don't have to accept it. And they got help now. They have help. They got numbers and stuff you can call. You know what I'm saying? They got places where you can go. I'm being real. Because when you realize who you are, when you realize how God has made you, when you realize what you was equipped with, when you realize who you really are, and I'm talking about, baby, this is deep. This is within. This is deep. When you really find out what type of man or what type of woman you really is, you'll realize that, you know what I'm saying? I'm better than this. You're better than this. You don't have to be abused. You don't have to be misused. You don't have to be mistreated. You see, you just don't have to. You have to thank God because people are dying every day. I'm being real. Taking people's lives. You know, mistreating people. Anytime you mishandle somebody, that means you're mistreating them. And you don't have to take it. And I know that, you know, we go in not thinking that it's going to happen. But things happen, y'all. Things happen. But all I'm saying is you don't have to take it. You don't have to accept it. Look at the person that's abusing you. I want you to look at the person look at the abuser. Because see, they're going to act like they're the victim. But no, they're not. They are the abuser. Look at that person that's abusing you. And you got to understand, you know, it's something wrong. Something is wrong. with that person. Because if that person is really God-fearing and truly love the Lord and soul out, that person, I promise you, they're not going to abuse you. They're going to love you as the Lord say love. They're going to love you, baby. They're going to treasure you. They're going to be thanking God for you. They're going to respect you. They're going to appreciate you. All right? And they're going to be your safety net. They're going to be your protector. You're supposed to be in a household with a husband and wife, and they're your protector. They're not supposed to let nobody come in and mistreat you or mishandle you or disrespect you or do you like a dog. But when they do you like a dog, then others think that they can do you like a dog too. The hell you can. The hell you can. So you cannot allow people to treat you like that. And so those are the people that you have to set boundaries with. You have to leave these people alone, so you can live. You see what I'm saying? So you can enjoy your life, because you only got one life to live, and you want to live your life to the fullest. You don't want to be controlled. You don't want to be robotic. You don't want nobody to make you feel like you scared to say this and you scared to say that and you scared to voice your opinion. You scared to walk. You feel like you're walking on thin ice. And I'm gonna tell you something else. Even if you have to let you have to let an abuser go, sooner or later you're gonna let that mess go. But God will give you what you need. Trust me. He will give. You could get out and get your own house. You can buy your own car. You can go out there and get your own job. You can make your own living. You see what I'm saying? You go out and buy your own furniture. I'm telling you, you can sit in your own front yard. You see what I'm saying? And you don't have to worry about all that. But all I'm saying is, y'all, you got to be careful. I have a daughter, the only daughter I have. Do you really think that I want a man to mistreat my child, my daughter? No. And anybody with good sense would want nobody to mistreat their daughters. All right? Do you think I got 2 sons? Do you think that I want somebody to mistreat my sons? No. Do you think I want my sons to mistreat somebody else? No. No, I don't. But I don't want nobody mistreating them, and I don't want them to mistreat nobody. You see? But I have to tell them, hey, don't let nobody mistreat you. You ain't got to be fighting them, but you see they'll fight them. You see they're an abuser. You see they don't care about nothing. You see they like to mistreat you. Let them go. Let them go. Let them, and it might hurt for a little bit because you truly was in it for the long haul, but you got to ask the question, what are they in it for? Are they in it just to tear me down? Are they in it just to disrespect me? Are they in it just to misuse me? Are they in it just to abuse me? Are they in it just to mistreat me? You got to say no. No. It's some women, these men do these women so bad. They disrespect women so bad. And they do them so bad, Cousin Howard Lee. They do them so bad. They go out and get other women, try to make the other women feel like they something, and you ain't nothing. And in the back of their head, they know you was the best thing that could ever happen to them, but they didn't know how to treat you. So you have to let it go. You have to let it go, and you sleep better at nighttime. You just sleep better. I mean, you got more peace about yourself. And then sometimes you don't even know your own strength. Whitney Houston said that. You don't even know your own strength. You see, you feel like sometimes you need these people, but trust me, you don't need them. You don't need them. You find out that you can do so much without them. And you find out give you a chance. Look what you was doing before they even came into your life. And then look what you was doing after they left your life. Sometimes some people is just a hindrance. They are a hindrance to your life. You can't even move, accomplish nothing. Everything's like just tumbling down. You know why? Because it's the type of people that you got in your atmosphere. Once you blow the people out your atmosphere, you'll start seeing that everything you touch turn to gold. Ouch! Everything you touch turn to gold. But as long as they was there, you couldn't even get up like you want to get up. You just have to realize. And then God have so much more better for you. And you ain't got to talk about no other man, no other woman, because it takes time to heal. After you've been abused, it takes time to heal. But what I'm saying is, God got so much for you, for your own self. See, He helps you to be stronger. He helps you to be wiser, and He helps you to be better. And then you don't even must realize the smartness you have, the sense you have, the integrity you have, the intelligence you have. Because if a person coming to crush you down like ice, what do you need them for? You are supposed to be to build up each other. That's why you got some people, they've been married for such a long time, but they have been building each other up. Now, some people are married a long time, they being abused like hell. I'm being real, they being abused like hell. But they being abused in silence. They dare not to say something. And they're the ones that's going to end up in the grave. So what I'm saying is, don't fake it. If it ain't you sometimes it just come a time you got to say, I'm sick and tired. And when you sick and tired, you're going to get up and you're going to do something. You're going to get up, you're going to do something. You're going to get up and you're going to let that go. And you ain't going to care who gets it. Because you already know how it is. You see what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is that this is, and then y'all, people that be abused, it messes with their health. It brings their health down. All of a sudden, you didn't have to take now a pill. Now you with this person, you got a whole line of pills. And then look at what they taking. You see what I'm saying? Look at what, but see, you got to love yourself. And I think that's what have happened. People that got away from loving themselves. You got to love yourself. And once you start loving yourself, I promise you, a lot of stuff you'll shake it and nah, baby, you go on with that. I ain't got to take that mess. And when you know better, you do better. I grew up in an abusive situation. I grew up seeing my mom, and I had the most precious mom. But I grew up seeing, and she was easygoing, but I grew up seeing my mom being mistreated. I grew up seeing her crying and praying to the Lord. I grew up seeing, her get fight and going on, being cheated on, and, and just doing her like a rag doll. I grew up, that's why, I say now, and some people say, well, she bitter. No, baby, I ain't bitter. I'm better. Because when you see it for yourself, and when you experience it for yourself, no, it ain't worth it. But sometimes people get in a situation like that, and they feel like, I've got to stay in this. I don't want to be in this, but I got to stay in this because I stay until I can do better. And with my mom, bless her soul, do better never came. You know what do better was with my mama? The graveyard. The graveyard was do better for my precious mama. Do you think I want to see my mama gone? You see what I'm saying? And so by seeing that and knowing that her health went down and knowing that, then she got sick and this, that, and other, and the person that she was married to abuser, he still lived. He still lived. So it comes a time in life you just got to say no. And I love, how my son Jamaica look at stuff. I really do. And I tell him all the time, if it ain't working, if it don't work, let it go. Let it go. Don't second guess it. Let it go. Because I'd rather for you to let it go and you still be here than you trying to hold on to something that don't mean you no good and it brings you down. Let it go. Let it go, baby. Because you don't tell me that we don't have a God. God say he'll never leave you nor forsake you. He say he never seen the righteous. He didn't say the wrongdoers. He said he never seen the righteous forsaken, nor a seed begging for bread. That means God will provide and God will take care of. That's what that means. God will show you that you can make it, baby. He will show you can make it. You ain't gonna starve. You might have some hard times, but baby, you're gonna have some good times too. But all I'm saying is don't let nobody, I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. Don't let nobody get comfortable with you and think that they can mistreat you and abuse you and you got to bow down. You don't bow down to an abuser. I don't care who it is. It don't matter who it is. Because it can be anybody. It can be somebody spiritually. Like I don't like these preachers that go around here bashing folks. That's abuse. You darn right it is. So I don't care who it is. You don't let nobody think that they can sit down or stand up and say whatever they want to say to you, and you got to sit there like a lap dog, a rag dog, and take it. You tell them, baby, they can kick rocks. And if they can't kick them, You show them you can. And one thing else, once they got that dope, don't you dare never beg them to come back to you. No, don't you do that. Because if you ask them to beg them to come back, they're going to bruise you worse. And you know why? Because they think that you got to have them and you can't do no better. You didn't come here with them. You weren't born with them. And you ain't going to die with them. You don't hear me? So you let them go on about their business. You didn't come. You weren't born with them. And you ain't going to die with them either. So don't beg them to stay. If they can't get together, and a lot of times they don't get it together because they don't get the help they need. So if they can't get together, leave them alone and let them go on and fly. But I tell you, they're going to fly like a bird and you fly like an eagle. Let them fly like a bird and you fly like an eagle. That means that you keep on looking high and you keep on going on. But you got a lot of people dead in the grave because they was being abused. You got a lot of them. They didn't know how to get out of it. And they suffered until they suffered to the grave. Now, let me ask you this. Is it worth it? Is it worth you suffering to the grave, yo? I'm going to tell you, hell to the no, baby. Hell no, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth that, baby. It ain't worth that. Show like it ain't worth that. You got to know who you and God will show you. He will show you what you can do. He will show you what you can do without them. And then you'll see, look at God. Look at God. Look how God is adding on to me. Look how God is blessing me. Look how God is increasing me. Look how God is multiplying me. Look at God. Look how God is giving me the strength. Because like I said before, God don't want nobody being abused. I don't care who you is. He don't want you being abused. And if they can't build you up, don't let nobody tear you down. Because it's just not worth it. It ain't worth it. Sometimes, I sit back and I think about my own mama. And sometimes I feel like mama, I know she could have lived longer than what she lived. But she was in a messed up situation. And she felt like she had to take it. But she didn't have to take it. She didn't have to take it. And one thing about Lisa, you can rest for sure, I'm not taking it. I'm not taking no abuse. And I tell my 3 children, don't take no kind of abuse from nobody. Don't do it. I don't care how much you feel, what you feel. Don't do it. If you got to cry, cry it out. Whatever you got to do. But one day, baby, God going to dry your tears. And they going to be gone. They going to be gone. So don't do it. And I dare you to get on your knees and ask God to remove them out your life. I dare you to do it. Because he's sure enough going to do it. He's sure to do it. So this month is talking about domestic abuse. It's too much of it going on. It's too much going on. And you can't change a person. Let me say that. You can't change nobody. It is what it is. You can't change them. All right? And I know sometimes you be like, ooh, Jesus, wow. I ain't know they was like this. I ain't know that. It's a lot of stuff you don't know. Because people ain't going to show you everything in the beginning. But by and by, when the morning comes, that's when you start seeing a lot of red flags. And don't omit the red flag, because some people, that's what they do. They sit up and they omit red flags. Stop omitting a red flag. You got all kinds of people abusing you now. You really do. Because this is the end of time. It ain't just spouses and girlfriends. It's family folks too. They'll sit on their butts and try to abuse you. You see what I'm saying? No, that's wrong. You see, they so-called friends, that you think your friend abuse. It's all kinds of, but I'm going to tell you one thing. As I'm getting ready to log off. Because I'm finna eat me some cake and drink me some milk. You don't have to let nobody abuse you. Know your worth. Know who you are. Know your worth. Know your own identity. Know your worth. All right? Know and stop holding your head down. And hold your head up high. And look to the hills which come at your help. Knowing that all your help comes from the Lord. It ain't about how long your hair is or how nappy it is. It ain't about how light your skin is or how dark it is. It's about what's on the inside. It ain't about how skinny you is or how big you is. It ain't about how much money you got or how much money you don't got. It ain't about what house you stay in and all this kind of crap. It ain't about the car you drive. It ain't about the job you work at. Know your